6 years ago, in February of 2018, Hunt Showdown first launched on PC. While it took over a year later for it to eventually come to console, I have been playing Hunt on Xbox almost exclusively since 2020. As we close out the last 5 years and we say goodbye to Hunt Showdown and look forward to Hunt 1896, I thought it would be appropriate to remember some of the best moments and to get excited about what is to come. Hunt, for me, has been my favorite game since I found it in 2020. I grew up playing games like Halo and Call of Duty. I never really liked the Battle Royale craze that Fortnite had, and I didn't really like Warzone or Blackout in the Call of Duty series. I was actually kind of surprised that I enjoyed Hunt as much as I did, but since finding it, it has been the game that has consumed the most number of my times. As of recording this video, I've just hit Prestige 50, and I've racked up over 1,000 hours of time spent. I believe it might be just under, but still, around 1,000 hours of time spent playing the game. And frankly, it hasn't gotten old. Hunt is a game that could probably last for as long as gaming lasts. It's so dynamic, it's so intense, and it is so incredibly fun. Every single game feels like a different experience. And you know, the saying, Hunt giveth and taketh, rings so true when playing this game. There are times when I just have to take a break because Hunt has just been Hunt and it's been a brutal night. And there are times where I'll play 4 or 5 hours into the morning because I just can't get enough of it. I love this game, and I am so excited and happy with the growth that it's had and what it's becoming with this new launch. So, as we look back, I wanted to ask 6 questions of myself and of you, the viewer, one for each year of Hunt's existence, about this game. I'm going to walk through mine in this video, and please, in the comments, leave your experiences and your answers below. I'd love to get a giant comment section going just to share our experiences with this game. Before we begin, I'm going to put the questions on the screen right now if you want to write them. Just making this list brought back good memories and good thoughts about this game. So, the questions we're going to be visiting today are: how did you first find Hunt? What is your favorite Hunt memory? Who is your favorite Hunt content creator? What is your favorite weapon in Hunt? What is your favorite hunter in Hunt? And lastly, what are you excited about most for Hunt 1896? I first found Hunt in the summer of 2020. I believe I was watching one of the goofy ghost hunting shows or monster hunting shows that, you know, you find on YouTube, and I thought, man, I wish there was a game that wasn't, you know, Phasmophobia never did it for me, and I thought, I wish there was a game that had this same experience or this same feeling. And so I just searched monster hunting games. Now, Hunt in no way has this monster hunting experience feeling like, you know, the TV shows, but Hunt was like really high up there on the list, and it, you know, the old-timey weapons and everything, it looked fun. And so I thought, you know, I'll give it a try. I remember my first 2 games of Hunt. The first game was obviously a training, and I remember I spawned and an immolator killed me in about 3 seconds. At that point in time, the spider was still the boss, which they later removed because it was too scary for new players. But at that point in time, the spider was the boss, and it was located at Slaughterhouse. And I remember going to the spider and taking a picture of it and sending it to my friends and saying, what did I get myself into? My first game of Hunt was brutal. This was also back when console was 30 FPS, and so it was also incredibly difficult to play. And I remember I'd gotten the silenced Winfield, and I was crouching in the house in Arden Parish, and there was a team fight going. And I remember crouch walking up to the guy after the fight had completely ended, and he was reviving his teammate, and I popped him once and killed him. And I remember the rush of excitement I felt when I did that. I'm sure all of you have your first experience with Hunt and your first game and the nerves you felt. The adrenaline from loading in and having to fight your first set of hunters was incredible. And I remember just hiding and being terrified of them seeing me in the corner while they all slaughtered themselves. My favorite Hunt memory has to be the As the Crows Flies event. That event was so grindy and so extreme. That event was basically a full-time job, but it is still one of the most favorite memories I have of this game. For those of you that don't know about this event, this was the event that introduced Scrap Beak into the game. The way it worked, unlike other events, is that the community had to get enough points to even unlock them in the first place. After that, then there was the most insane grindy progression bar that you had to reach, and the way to reach it was basically killing mock Scrap Beak scarecrow looking things that were on the map and killing crows. And so basically Hunt completely transformed in that period of the event, and instead of there being combat, everyone switched to a silenced weapon. At that point in time, the only silenced rifle was the Sparks and the Winfield, I believe. And so pretty much everyone was using a silenced Winfield, and the secondary, they were using the hand crossbow with poison bolts, because again, you got points for killing crows. Now, it got to the point where some of us got so insane that we would run dual hand crossbows loaded with poison ammo and just go around the map taking down crows. That event basically was a full-time job, and I think anyone who remembers that event, has that same memory. But watching what happened to Hunt in that time period it's just, you cannot replicate it with modern Hunt. Literally every single lobby transformed, and it almost became like a friendly situation where other teams would work with you, and they would only kill you so that you couldn't kill all the crows and take all the event points because they wanted them. But literally there was no fighting. The boss would get banished and get left on the map. Again, if you play this event, you remember it. People would banish the boss and just leave it because no one cared about the boss. You needed to banish it for extra points, but no one cared about picking it up. And so the event, literally, Hunt just became basically a PvE experience for like a month. Obviously, that is not something that I necessarily want Hunt to become, but just the absolute silliness of the event. And I just remember logging in after work every day and going around shooting crows and just being a little rat hiding in bushes whenever there'd be people running by because I didn't want them to see me. That event was just special for Hunt. It made Hunt a different type of game. Basically, in short, everyone got collectively scared of each other, and so you would pretty much hide anytime you would hear anyone and let them pass. You would try to just hit all the compounds, kill all the crows, and destroy all the little scarecrow-looking things that you could. That event was such a grind, and like I said, I am so glad. Crytek, to their credit, has been an amazing developer, and they've really experimented with events. And Serpent's Moon was probably the most grindy, but where we are now is in such a sweet spot. But I have to always give it to As the Crow Flies. That event has a special place in my heart. My favorite Hunt content creator. So this actually goes into how I first found Hunt, because the day after I purchased Hunt, I remember looking up a bunch of like Hunt tips and tutorials and things. And at the time, there was a very small YouTuber by the name of Lucan. He probably had about 3,000 subscribers, if that, at the time when I found his video. And that year he blew up. I think he's at like 70,000 now, and a lot of people love his content. And I just remember watching his content day in and day out, being like, man, PC is so nice, by the way, compared to console, which now console, even though it's kind of goofy, it is a lot better. But I just was blown away by him. His content is so unique, and he doesn't post as much as I think a lot of us would like, but he really is a special type of YouTuber. Question 3. What is your favorite Hunt weapon? For me, that is undoubtedly the Officer Carbine, or I think the official name is a Nagant Officer Carbine. Funny enough, that's also tied to Lucan. Maybe I have to credit him for that, but right around the time when I found him was right when he posted his first Officer Carbine gun. And now a little background for me. I've always loved the guns that maybe do less damage but shoot faster. So in Halo, that was the Covenant Carbine, and like Call of Duty Black Ops, that was like the AUG or the FAMAS. I love the fast shooting, lower damage guns. I like to be aggressive. I'm impulsive when I play. I don't like to camp and play slow and line up headshots. I like to just rush and push. And so it naturally fits my play style. But to Lucan's credit, I remember watching his gameplay with it, and I think he titled it like the perfect gun or something like that. And I was like, man, this guy is so overpowered. I mean, it was incredible watching him. And it was right before they nerfed the gun for the first time. They've nerfed it, then buffed it, then now recently nerfed it again. But this was before the first nerf. And I remember when I saw him play it, I had not yet used it. And so I rushed to unlock it. And when my friends and I were playing Hunt for like 3 or 4 weeks before they nerfed it, I remember just nonstop using it. I told them every time, you guys want to use this thing before they nerf it. For those of you that never got to use the OG Officer, it was a laser beam. When they buffed it in like, I think it was the Devil's Moon event, or they buffed it I think 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. When they buffed it, it basically returned to its former glory. It was a laser beam. The second nerf they hit it with is much more generous than the first nerf. This nerf, I think, just adds a little bit of like random, recoil to it, but it's much more manageable. And so I would say the carbine is in a top tier spot where it is now. Of course, it's not a laser beam. It should have never been a laser beam. And I love it. Basically, as soon as I unlocked the gun and I used it, my next mission was to get a skin for it because I love all the skins. I think I own every skin in Hunt, so, rip my wallet. But I remember grinding out the trials on 30 FPS on console to get the Cordwainer skin, which is probably still my favorite Officer Carbine skin. Again, trials are brutal. Thank you for removing them, Crytek. There probably is a better use of them in the future. So for you players who don't have it in Hunt 1896, you'll be able to get it just through prestiging. But man, the carbine, especially on 30 FPS, you know, it kind of helped to have a spammy gun. So it's remained my favorite gun. It doesn't matter how many new guns they add. You know, I really like long ammo gun. My favorite one is probably the Mako now. But it really doesn't matter. They can't add a gun that will probably replace the officer carbine. I just love it too much. I love the feel. And it's one of those guns that you pick up and you just feel so powerful using it. Favorite hunter? This is kind of a goofy one, but you know, let's have at least one goofy point in there. When I first was playing Hunt, I used the Revenant skin with his cool little uppercut skin that came with it. I thought it was such a cool, I mean, it's a zombie. It's such a cool skin. I used the Bad Hand all the way through the unlock of the Plague Doctor skin. The Plague Doctor skin is probably like the most coveted skin in all of Hunt, maybe only upstaged now by the Bad Hand because it's an RNG skin. But I used the Plague Doctor all the way through the end of the Trader's Moon event, I believe it was called. And that is when I found the skin that I still run to this day, which is my beloved Lonely House skin. I remember when I saw the Lonely House skin, and I'd actually taken a break from Hunt for the Trader's Moon event. I didn't play it. And when I saw the Lonely House skin, it literally made me want to play Hunt again. Since that skin has come out, it's been the go-to skin I run. And it, again, you know, I own pretty much every skin in the game, so I could run anything. There's something about this skin. I kind of say that this skin is the unofficial skin of solo players. Typically, 9 out of 10 times, if you either kill or die to a Lonely Howl, the guy's a solo, and so it's kind of my favorite solo skin. I was never a Dirty Cane user or a Headsman user. Do not worry, my friends. Never any of those. Aside from, you know, memeing a few times, which there were some good memes using them. But the Lonely Howl, the de facto skin of the solo player, is by far my favorite skin, and it probably will continue to be. And lastly, what am I most excited about for the next Hunt era? By far the thing I'm most excited for is not really any of the immediate changes. It's the fact that we are getting an engine upgrade for Hunt. By all accounts, the engine that Hunt was on, the Cry engine that it was on, was a spaghetti code mess, and it made it very difficult for Crytek to make consistent and good updates. So credit to them where credit's due. They did a great job with supposedly the mess of an engine that they have. And so this new Cry engine, again, according to them, will allow them to make a lot of updates quicker and better to Hunt. And so when I look forward to the future, of course, I'm excited about all the new events, the new map, the new bosses that are coming. I love all of this content. But it really isn't any of that. It's the fact that the potential and the rise of Hunt is only going to continue to grow as time goes on. And in part, it's because of this engine update. And I'm just super excited for what is to come. So yeah, guys, as we look back to the past, let's appreciate all the joy that Hunt brought us. Let me know the answer to these questions in the comments below. I would love to just read and see what everyone's experience is with this game. Again, I love this game. It's brought me the most joy out of any game in the last 5 years, and I hope it continues to thrive. Other than that, I will talk to you guys later, and I'll catch you on Hunt Showdown 1896.